I just wanted to give a voiceover of this video because it's a little confusing. I tried to color code all of the cameras and all of the views. So in all of the individual camera views, they are highlighted with the color that they appear in each of the other visualizations. So everything except the manipulators are circled because they're dynamic. But what this video is, well, I tried a couple of things throughout this video. I tried just moving it between different camera views. Right now, what I was testing was I was trying to show that the tracking is reasonably accurate, or maybe not accurate. I can't really test if it's accurate or not, but I just wanted to show that I meet what the intended goal of the dynamic manipulators was, which is to be able to track the cube when it's not visible by any of the side cameras. So I can move the camera, or I can move the donut really far away from the apparatus itself, and because the manipulator camera can still see it, it can still be tracked. But the problem right now is that the manipulator cameras are not particularly accurate. It'll become especially obvious when the manipulator has a view of the donut and I'm trying to place it down. You'll notice that like the prediction of where the donut is from the manipulator's point of view is a little bit wobbly and unstable. I'm not sure if it's because of euphoria or if there's blur or if I'm not interpolating or all of those things, but I just wanted to show at least one instance of the dynamic tracking happening. You'll also notice a couple of times throughout the video, like here, it's hard to get the manipulator to recognize the donut marker. Like in this case, the left manipulator noticed the bear marker much more easily, and the eagle one much more easily than the dragons. I'm not sure why that is, but this is a pretty big deal and I'll have to solve it eventually. Because the right manipulator actually sees the dragon by far the easiest, but the left one only sees... The left one I don't think ever recognized the dragon. So that's definitely something that I'll need to troubleshoot. What else? Let's see, at the bottom middle, you see the real view, and I circled where the cameras... I tried to align the real and simulated view as well as possible, and I circled where those cameras are in real life. Some of them are a little bit out of the focus of the camera, but I still circled the approximate position. You might have to watch the video multiple times to really get a grasp of what's happening. One thing that I did notice when I was testing this was that the left manipulator seems to be calibrated a little bit better in terms of like where the endoscope is predicted to be on the shaft. I don't know if it's because I more accurately placed the marker or if I more accurately measured it, but it did seem like when I let go of the donut on one of the pegs, it let it go in a more accurate position. So also hopefully it became obvious at some point, but the camera that thinks that it has the best view of the donut, its color is what becomes opaque. Also, something that's a little bit confusing with this visualization is that the right manipulator, even though its mesh is red, the camera view itself is actually green, like the color that it uses when it solidifies. In this section of the video, I was trying to pass the donut between these two views, between the two manipulators, and it sort of worked. There was a bit of a discontinuity, but it worked a little bit better than I was expecting it to, which is, I guess, promising for future work if we decide to use multiple cameras to improve the prediction. You'll notice that there are definitely discontinuities with right now it's clear that we would need to interpolate from the static camera view to the manipulator view, because it's definitely not continuous. I mean, right now this blue, right now I don't think any of the cameras actually thinks they have a good view. None of them are green. Like none of the squares where the marker is visible in the camera view are green. So that's why that blue marker is static. Then the left manipulator thought it had a good view, and then it missed. I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at moving the donut around, which doesn't help. I also should have mentioned this first, but within each of the individual camera views, I haven't changed the visualization yet. It's still just, it highlights it green when it highlights the marker that it thinks it sees green when it's visible. If it previously had a view of a marker but then it doesn't, it highlights it red. And the static base markers are blue. The importance of the static base markers, especially in my jank setup at home, is that you notice the camera shake a lot. So the static calibration is not so static, but the static marker on the pegboard is always visible. So my system is capable of dynamically dealing with this shaking problem, which is sort of nice.